Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast. I'm coming to you live from the Poetry Bookshelf to bring you 3 uplifting poems. If you haven't watched this before, please check out and like my Facebook page, Strange Times Poetry Broadcast, for more updates about new episodes and other good stuff. So today I'm going to be talking about wanting tomorrow. There's a really strong balance in this time, both between living in the present moment and not looking too far ahead because it can be very anxiety inducing, yet at the same time, being able to get up every day to see that there will be a way out of this, that there is hope, and in that way, wanting tomorrow can be an important and hopeful and stabilizing thing to look forward to there being peace, to there being healing, and to good things lying ahead. And the 3 poems that I'm reading today each deal with that in different ways. First poem I'm going to read is by Jericho and it's called Psalm 150. And you can't see it. Oh, well, I can show it to you. But it's almost a sonnet. We have a sonnet form, but we don't have any rhyme. So I would say this is maybe an American sonnet. Some folks fool themselves into believing, but I know what I know once, at the height of hopeless touching. My man and I hold our breath, certain we can stop time, or maybe eliminate it from our lives, which are shorter, since we learn to make love for each other rather than doing it to each other. As for praise and worship, I prefer the latter. Only memory makes us kneel, silent and still. Hear me? Thunder scares, lightning lets us see. Then, heads covered, we wait for rain. Dear Lord, let me watch for his arrival and hang my head and shake it like a man who's lost and lived. Something keeps trying, but I'm not killed yet. I love the intensity but the hope in that last line. Something keeps trying, but I'm not killed yet. This poem is coming out of difficult times, but I think it also creates worship and belief in it. I love, in comparison to a seize the day poem where you're trying to escape time or get ahead of time, I love how this poem brings us into a moment where we're certain we can stop time through love. And I love the lightning lets us see, waiting for rain. Heads covered, we wait for rain. Certain we can stop time or maybe eliminate it from our lives. And then also, I almost forgot about this, the idea that I love these brief shifts in poems, the idea between doing love to each other versus making love, to make love for each other, and the difference in intention there. What's the difference between doing something to someone and making love? Doing love and making love. This poem holds, I think, a lot of hope in its difficult moments. The next poem I'm going to read is by M.P. Carver, and it was originally published in Nixes Mates, and it's called Elegy, but I think that it's a misleading title because I think it's quite full of hope. Elegy. A cut-up poem made from words found in titles from the June 2019 issue of Poetry. Dear body, don't steal away into grass and ground. My shabby story wants tomorrow and its moon. So this poem is definitely a poem against death, against going into the dark night. Dear body, don't steal away into grass and ground, decomposing. I love the idea of our life as a shabby story that wants tomorrow. think that that line really makes the poem. Because, yeah, our lives are very small and shabby story. I just love that. It's so diminutive, but yet so tender. It wants tomorrow and its moon. Much hope and power there. And finally, this poem is called Mazon, or Sustenance, and it's written by myself. Over the weekend, tomatoes unwind from the soil, a yo-yo spun out walking the dog. Pebble seed turned on to life, you dig for water, breathe. Drunk on potting soil, you stumble toward the weak sun in an eastern window. Still weak. I give you 60 days, your countdown to the real earth, to seeking water beyond apportioned ice chips, sips I pour you from a blue glass. Elijah says knowing when the frost ends requires a bit of providence. The last of anything is harder to pinpoint than the first. Maybe you will be hardy enough. So this poem is written directly to the seedlings sitting in the window in their little pots. Everything's easy, you know, they're getting water, they have the great potting soil with all those little beads of probably potentially fatal fertilizer getting them going, and they've got 60 days before they're going to be planted in the ground outside where the frost may be coming still. The last of anything is harder to pinpoint than the first. And it's hard to tell when the last frost will be. You have to have a little bit of faith that it is the last frost, that you will be hardy, or that you will be hardy enough to survive the frost if it happens. I think we're all finding out that we are hardy enough. And what will we do with that knowledge when all of this is over? I don't know. I leave it to you. And in the meantime, this has been a pleasure. I hope you stay safe and stay sane. Good night. Bye!